Yeah, well, now that that's out, we
Well,
can do a show.
we had barbecue stuff and it's just coming back on me. All right. Here we go. This is the show and it starts in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to There Will Be Dungeons. This is There Will Be Dungeons, and it's for the weekend of Sunday, June 7th. It's not January. What the hell am I saying? It's not January. It's June. It's summer. Welcome back to the show. Sorry about last week. Things were a little bit nuts, and we couldn't do a show, but we're doing one tonight, and we're happy to be here with Bo and John and Kristen and Kyle and myself. Let's waste no time getting straight to it today by letting Kristen wrap up what happened last time on There Will Be Dungeons.
Last time on There Will Be Dungeons, they had succeeded in setting down Insigil. The boat berthed, and Nash, currently captain, was whisked away to tell the tale of the disappeared dinghy. Unfortunately, as the official operator, he was responsible for reparating the removed raft. Nash nervously promised postponed payment. Meanwhile, Varel was found by a furious Fambo Joe, the ripped rickshaw runner, and 4 of his friends. Varel explained his exploits and the time twist tempered by travel, but Fambo refused to reconcile. However, rickshaws were still required to reach Tabacho, so Squirt squashed the squabble by forcing a fast friendship with a reptile runner. The exit was an elevator. They all boarded, but soon were squished by bunches of brutes and 2 trolls fond of farting. The hoist halted. A mysterious, menacing message revealed the rut the 4 were forced into, a lift of lackeys. Luckily, the rickshaw runners proved proficient pals. Stanley met massive mangling, but a heaping heel from Squirts bolstered him back to battle. Nash sat safe, floating over the fray as Varel beat on baddies, but close quarters proved precarious. Varel collected his compatriots in a corner and called on Nash to cause calamity. The fireball fried fiercely, consuming the contenders and fracturing the floor. As the final foe fell, the bottom broke, and the party plunged toward pavement until Stanley's featherfall forced friction. Grounded, Fambo Joe was still sour, but the fight had fostered a frustrated friendship. The lizard, still in love with Squirts, drove them directly to Tabacho's tavern where the blue beast beckoned. Now rejoin our heroes as they lilt into the lair of a dastardly demon who dares destroy them. What will he make of the magic mitt? Dare he deter the heroes who halted his assassination attempt? And will Varel ever manage to make it to Fambo's features? Stay tuned for today's adventure through the mean streets and rough beats of Sigil.
All right, we're back at it. Bo, take it away.
All right, the four of you, Nash Maggard of the Solar Mine, Stanley Billings, Varel Rasvim Kurik, and Squirts and Chunks, I guess that makes 5, have just entered once again into Tabacho Fleur's establishment. You knocked on the door, you were let right in, even without a password, and escorted right to the main bar area. And when you had entered into this area, there was some dancing that had been going on the main floor before Tabacho, his great dragon form, blue, but a slick night blue, as he's splayed out across this humongous dragon-sized love seat and enjoying the music. And as you had entered into Tabacho's establishment, which is packed, by the way, all the booth seats have people sitting in it. There are people at the bar. There's some standing room people. The whole establishment had turned to you, and with some quick utterances from Tabacho, in Pentampu ite. The dance, whatever was going on, this dance number that was being performed for Tabacho is immediately ushered off the stage as men walk up with spears and gently coax, just without having to do too much miming of what their intentions are, show that people are to be brushed off the stage. So they make this brushing motion with their spears, some lightly threatening, and the dancers have moved off the stage and opened up a stadium basically for you to stand, and the lights all around the bar dim except for the spotlight that's upon you, and some very cool blues and pinks that are being shown in Tabacho's area, as he's obviously the most important person in the room. His stone golem gets up from being a stone and transforms into man form again. A sound of stone crushing against stone as this entity stands up and walks to the center of the room where it is lit itself, and says to you, "Welcome. Happy returning to our guests. Please make your way before Tabacho." And the room descends into silence where it was music and cheering before. Everyone awaits your reaction with bated breath.
I proceed to the assigned area with the box in hand.
Yep.
The great
Step
lizard
forward.
folk, Vorel, steps forward first with the box floating in hand, controlling it in that way that makes it light. It's floating to the center of the illuminated area. Stanley follows behind. Nash and Squirts, do you join them in the center of the stage?
Absolutely. Yep.
Very good. So the four of you move into this illuminated area that's at the center of the stage. That's before Tabacho, who's on a raised platform on his love seat, looking at you and watching every move very carefully, as I'm sure everyone else is in the crowd. And as you look out into the darkness, there's small candles and pieces of illumination. So you see many eyeballs of many different colors, all watching as you move to this staged area. Now the floor on the staged area has grating, and the light spills in and shines, and you see the reflection of speckled creatures underneath as they move about. And you hear as you step too uncomfortably close to one over top. Now, as you look down, you can see that the light doesn't shine very deep down. It's maybe 10 feet down. So you take your place on this stage before all the patrons of Tabachos and Tabachos himself. And Tabacho looks to you and says, "Itukata pico intebi ordunti." And then the rock golem turns from looking at Tabacho, trying to understand its words. The rock appears to translate it, turns to you and says, "Tabacho bids you welcome and happy returning from your mission. He is excited to see that you have brought the box with you and expects good news."
Stanley steps forward, and I would like to attempt my enthralling performance as I speak.
Okay, so we need to review the details. I don't want to get any gotcha moments with this spell because
Sure.
it sounds like we're manipulating the people around. So let's see here. People don't like stuff like that. So I'm just getting to your character sheet. Give me a moment. Where's that stuff?
It's under features and traits.
No, I'm just even trying to find the character. I've got to go to my campaigns. Like, honestly, if anyone from D&D Beyond's listening, your site used to be really awesome because of how clean it was, and now it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
there's so much stuff on here. It drives me nuts.
There's some bloat, for sure.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Like every other tech thing that's awesome, that makes money or is successful, they ruin it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are looking for Stanley Billings. There we go. Okay, so it is the feat enthralling performance.
Yep.
Okay, features and traits, enthralling performance. So, for everyone's benefit listening, once per short rest, you can choose 5 creatures that watch and listen to you perform for a minute. Each target makes a wisdom saving throw and is charmed if it fails for an hour, or until it takes damage, you attack it, or it sees you, or attacks. Or you attack it or damage its allies. Okay.
You
so
may
this isn't a
want
charm
to,
spell.
yeah, you may also want to click it, just to once again avoid gotcha moments.
All right,
it
sure,
goes into a
yes.
bit more detail, because if they succeed in a save, they do not have any idea that we attempted to charm them.
Yeah, now that's an important distinction because generally people are hostile towards charm effects. This is, however, an innate ability. So you're not using your magic to manipulate the enemy, you're using your magic to improve your own performance, essentially.
Right.
To such a degree that it's hard for people to resist it. So you're technically on the right side of, human rights. So this is great.
Yeah.
you're not manipulating another person's mind directly,
Right.
like other times have happened. So this is cool.
Good job, John.
So the 5 creatures that I would choose in this instance is I would obviously be choosing Tabacho.
Okay. So just a second, I'm going to write this down on my sweet little notebook here. Let me show you. Okay. Perfect.
Can I see, is Jalver there?
You perception check, please. The crowd is darkened and hard to see, although you do have dark vision. There's still a lot of people.
Sure. Let me do a perception check.
Whoa.
That's going to be a 24.
All right.
Did you all hear that?
Yeah, that was weird. How loud you
got.
got.
Wait a minute, really?
Yeah. You got really loud only while you did the perception check. My hearing perception went up when you did your perception check.
It was 24. Anyway.
Yeah, your stealth went down. Okay, it's 24. All right, perfect. Thank you. I have it all sorted now. 24. All right, you scan the crowd and you spot the form of what is distinctly Jalver.
All right, he would be number 2 because I know he has.
Do you have a range limit, or it's just sound of your voice?
60 feet, I believe, is what it's.
Okay, you can hit that.
Oh, who watched and listened within 60 feet of you?
Okay, we're within 60 feet. So.
Beyond that, I would only be hitting random people in the crowd. I would be he'd be eyeing people who appear more affluent, who might have more sway if they were. So, like, I wouldn't be targeting entertainers probably, because I figure they're not that high up in the food chain.
Well, this is a hive, and this is a hive of scum and villainy style place.
Sure.
If it hasn't already been made clear, so no fear.
Well, I know that, but let's use the thing we're all referring to. If there's like a Boba Fett-esque figure standing behind him as like a right-hand man, that would be a target.
You're looking for people who look like badass bounty hunters.
Right, we wouldn't be targeting the Twi'lek dancer down on the floor.
Got it. Okay, perfect. We've established understanding between us, and I have made a note of 3 badass bounty hunters that are looking. Sweet. So you never know when some fashionista's there and has the latest bounty hunter threads, but isn't actually a bounty hunter. You might make a mistake. That could happen.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right. So we've got that. So Stanley would step forth and would say, "Honorable Tabacho, we have returned with the treasure you requested of us, but it was not easy. We come to you down a member. We come to you having had every opportunity to try and return this to you quickly and easily foiled. Many lost their lives to bring this to you. Airships crumbled. Great battles were fought." What is that weird crackling sound? Do you hear that?
We have a tiny goblin ripping ass?
I don't know what that is, but I hear it too.
Do you guys hear a crackling sound?
Yeah, but it sounds like somebody like bringing up their spit and re-swallowing it a whole bunch.
How about now? Do you hear it now?
Yeah, it's coming from you, Scott, I think, because you're lighting up on Discord when I hear it.
Do you hear it now?
Yeah, it's definitely you. It's like your voice is crackling along with it.
What am I doing? I'm not
It's
doing anything.
like it's robotic, actually.
Is it?
It's like a wire's fizzing out.
Yeah, I don't.
Serious. You're not gonna like that.
Let me see if it's recording this way. Just 1 sec. Hold on, everybody. Let me just see. 1 sec. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's horrible. Let's not have that. Okay, hold on. Oh man, you know what it is? It's this new thing.
It's getting worse and worse.
All right, how's it now?
Great.
Gone.
It's gone. It was that new video thing. Well, that answers that question. All right.
All right.
Watch for the Zoom link coming in soon, because here we go. Hold on a second. Oh, wait. I got to record audio. Just 1 second.
I like how it drives all these apps nuts that we're not using audio.
I know. It's annoying.
Are you sure?
Yeah, are you positive?
Your audio's not working.
I can't hear you right now.
It's like I'm paying you. Quit telling me what to do, you damn thing. All right, we're back. Sorry, Bo. Continue where you were at. With what you were doing.
John, did you want to restart your speech, or do you want to?
Oh, sorry, John.
We'll just continue with it.
I feel bad.
We'll just say, Honorable Tabacho, we have recovered the artifact that you sent us out for, but it was at great cost. Not only was the airship you sent us in destroyed, but even those who came to follow behind were lost as well. We lost one of our companions trying to get this. I cannot stress enough the heavy price we've paid to bring this artifact before you. It was not easy. We successfully infiltrated and stole the key to the chest, and then we stowed away into the very tower and managed to retrieve the artifact in a battle between demons and paladins and even sights you wouldn't believe. To say that this artifact and retrieving it was a challenge would be to put it lightly. The value of this chest, to us, for what we have endured, is quite high, and I hope you will appreciate it as we turn it over to you. Which that should be a minute. Oh, you're muted,
You're
Bo.
muted, Bo.
Sorry, I'm so confused with everything that's going on. I can't find my dice. I have to make a saving throw for these characters?
Yes. It is a Wisdom 17 is the level.
Sorry, I hid them. In my cleaning, I cleaned, and then I put them...
Oh, nice little bowl of dice. Don't eat.
For those in the show, I was talking pre-show about how I cleaned. Anyways.
Don't eat them. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so you said, sorry, please repeat that. My head was filled with
So
me.
it'll be 5 Wisdom 17 saving throws.
All right, for Gilvert, for Tabacho, for the badass bounty. Are you allowed to know the result?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Really? You don't get to know how it went? That's crazy.
Well, it's not a magical effect. Like
Right.
Bo said, it's...
Yeah, you would test it based on speaking to them, I imagine, but you're in the middle of a performance, so
Right.
you can't know. Yeah, I think.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say that's true. The magic is focused on self, so you don't have a sense of result. I think if you were casting magic on somebody charming them, you would know whether it worked or not. Like modify memory, for example.
Right, but the magic is affecting Stanley's voice and persuasiveness.
Okay, so that means you aren't aware. So you say these fine words, orating to the entire room. Tabacho takes a dragon claw and scratches the scales under his chin and goes, "Ipecto intubeci orompiste." And then the rock golem looks to everyone and says, "Tabacho acknowledges the great effort that you undertook to retrieve this item for him. Please, everyone, give these treasure hunters a round of applause." And the entire room begins.
Wow.
And there's a polite clap. There's no cheering or whoops, but there's this polite clap. It's really loud and just fills the room. And then the rock golem waves her hand out, and everyone begins stopping the clapping. And Tabacho continues. "Intushti at bezos es parfumbe. Akatukata."
I heard Bezos in there. He ordered us something from Amazon.
You remember Rasfin Tutum Bezos?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I do remember that.
I was reminded of that recently. It came back to me.
Nice.
So the rock golem looks to Tabacho, then returns to everyone and says, or actually he turns to the party. He looks to you and he says, "Tabacho is very pleased with the result that you came back. He might have suspected there would be great challenges and that you might not have returned with it. He was right in backing you for this task. He's also very eager to see the prize."
I can't look at Bo while he's doing this. He's making me laugh. You just have this smile on your face, and it's killing me.
I'm just enjoying myself. It's
That's
not
good.
anything.
No. I know. It's It's infectious. I gotta stop looking at it.
You're not wrong. Even once we were back in the city, just trying to get this to you, we were ambushed and attacked within the walls. To say that it is a hot item would be putting it very lightly. But let's open it up. I don't know who has the key. Do I have the key? Probably. Varel doesn't have pockets. I'll take out the key.
I think you gave the key. Did you take it back from Elantris? You didn't. When you modified, remember you.
We had
kept
to
the key.
use it to open it. Does Nash have it?
I don't think so.
Nash
You-
had to
'cause we-
arcane it closed.
Yeah, but I
How
don't
did we
have-
close it? Didn't we need the key to close the box again?
No, he did an arcane thing to get the magical box closed again.
I thought the arcane thing was to find out that he needed the key to get the box closed again.
I don't remember. Let me look and see if I put
Is it
something
in your inventories?
No. I mean, I still have the. I still have the umbrella dong and some veggie peelings.
Well, I need you guys to help me with this stuff. I don't remember who has it. I suspected one of you's had it, though.
Yeah.
I believe Stan.
I
yeah.
think it would either be Nash or Varel. They were the ones who sealed up the box, and I could have sworn they needed the key to do that.
Wasn't given to Hope, was it?
No, we didn't give it to Hope.
Okay. Well, investigation time, please.
You know what?
guys-
I
you
think
pa-
they probably gave it back to me.
Nope,
just don't
that's not how
remember.
this is going to work.
I just
So
don't remember
you search your
having it.
inventory, and you begin patting your inventory, and you begin panicking a bit because you don't seem to be able to locate it.
So we're doing investigation rolls.
Let's do an investigation roll, please.
I'm gonna use my DM inspiration
Very good.
on this for a 20, not natural.
Okay. You begin patting your items, looking. Do you still have a bag of holding? I can't remember. We destroyed so much of your
It's
inventory.
gone. Yeah.
You begin looking through your items, trying to find any pockets. It's true though. We've destroyed a lot of your items, or I have, I guess. So you begin searching around. You don't find in any of the usual spaces, but you feel something sharp in your boot, and you're thinking maybe that's it.
While originally I was sort of facing Tabacho presenting, I turned to Stanley with the box so he could unlock it, and as this search has gone on, I've sort of inched over to try to block the view of Tabacho to Stanley as he
Okay.
digs through his pockets.
All right. I checked the boot. Is it in the boot?
You pull it out, and indeed you find the medallion, and you're not quite sure how it got there. It wouldn't normally be a place you'd put it, but
You
It
just know
certainly
it
was
wasn't
safe.
Nash. That's all you know for sure. That it wasn't Nash who put it there.
you don't know that.
Yeah. You're almost 100% sure though, even though you.
All
don't know.
right. Stanley takes the amulet, puts it in, and rotates it and opens up the box.
Okay, and the box opens, and there's an audible "ooh" from the crowd as the box opens up, and the way it opens up, it's this magical device. So the front folds left, and then folds out, and the top folds up, and as it folds up, it raises the item that's held in there on this pedestal, and there's the glove in its purple, like it's gold and white glory, but also corrupted purple like veins that are on it, and then this big gem that's in the back of the fist that's just smoking purple, and it rises up, and you hear from Tabacho. He goes, "Oh, pity." And the Rakam looks and says, "Tabacho has commented that he thinks it looks pretty."
Is
Yeah.
Tabacho speaking Draconic this whole time?
You established this last time. I
Okay.
remember this. He's speaking in a form of ancient Draconic that you don't understand.
Got it.
For whatever reason, he insists on speaking that language, it seems.
Cool. Well, I turn around with the box and sort of display it upward in a wide gesture for all the room to see.
And the crowd Ooh, and there's a little bit of clapping too that comes up again from some people. Everyone's very honored to see this item, it seems. Tobacho looks at you and he says, Impi tasti orbita. And then the rock golem looks to you, Varel, and says, Tobacho would like to examine the item personally.
All right. I will approach his mighty bench.
Okay. And he reaches out. No, would he reach out for it? No, the rock golem approaches you as you approach and sort of stops you by putting a hand on the box. And then the rock golem reaches for the glove and holds it kind of honorably, sort of like out with two hands like this, like a pizza, like the underbox of a pizza box or something.
An honorable pizza.
When you're offering pizza to someone, you lift the lid and have a hand underneath and go, what would you like, kind of deal. Anyways, she has both of her hands under it. This is a weird explanation, but okay. And she turns to Tobacho and walks to Tobacho and raises her hands up. And from his love seat, he takes two big dragon fingers, an index and a thumb, and he picks it up in his claws, and it's very tiny. He wouldn't even be able to fit this on a finger, like it's very small. So he sort of picks it up this way, and he brings it up to his eye, and then he goes, oh. Then another hand reaches into the love seat, and he pulls out this like monocle, but it's not a monocle. It's like a test, like a jewelers have them, like these jeweler appraisal like things.
Jeweler's eye.
And he puts it up to his eye, and he clinches it in there without having to hold it, and then he examines it, and he goes, "Ooh, oh, up," and then he stops. And he looks at the rock golem and he says, Impito effrantia. The rock golem turns around to you and says, Great treasure hunters, there appears to be a portion of the item missing.
Not possible. That's exactly what was in the box.
Impincho abinte oprunketa stampa. And the rock golem turns to you again. She says, Tobacho was informed that there would be an item inside of the glove, and yet it appears to be missing. Tobacho continues. He turns the glove around and shows the hole where the hand goes in and all the teeth and membrane that's inside, and he says, Id tonke coupe umbricha atili. And then the rock golem continues. Tobacho observes that whatever was in here could not have been removed easily, given all of these cursed teeth on the inside of the glove. Sorry, I'm turning into an old lady. Inside of the glove.
I mean, we were not informed to expect an item inside. We, of course, checked to make sure that Zoranda's fist was in there. We would have looked very silly to bring the great Tobacho a empty box, but I assure you, this is the item that they called Zoranda's fist and defended, even to our own very gates, tried to obtain.
Okay,
If there's more to it, we didn't see it.
There are lies in there, so make a deception roll, please.
Sure. A 32.
Man, this... Okay. Keep in mind, I think the DC for things that are, quote, impossible are 30. So 32 is a big deal. Okay. So he, as far as you can tell, he buys your story completely, nods, and looks. Tobacho ibedebe. And he lets out a big sigh, and then the rock golem looks to you and says, Tobacho is disappointed. Is there a reaction from you?
You know, Tabacho, I am equally disappointed. Here I thought this was going to be a great day of celebration, us bringing you the item you sought so hard and we fought so hard for. The fact that they have, I don't know, done something to split this item, to try and hide it further, is just downright disappointing. I'll tell you what, why don't we make good on the deal we had? And maybe, once we find our footing again back in our world, maybe we can look into finding whatever it was that was supposed to be in there. I mean, do you know what it was, what it looked like? Maybe we stumbled upon it while we were there and didn't even realize it.
He looks at you. I need another deception roll, please, as this continued ruse persists.
That's a 19.
He raises an eyebrow at you. Impide ostent ac uchi e bringa bongo. And the rock golem looks at you and he says, Now, you are correct. Tobacho does not punish his work associates and contractors when missions don't go as planned. That comes with the territory. So please do not be alarmed that Tobacho is disappointed. You are right that he did not inform you that there would be anything in there, and you seem to have testified that you know nothing of it. Yes?
Correct.
Tobacho will honor the agreement, as you have done as he asked. I believe it was a passage to Earth, the location of a portal to get there.
The portal and the ability to travel through it.
Inpute asti a ibije cambrinke. The rock golem looks to you again, says, Tobacho has his own confession to make. There is no actual portal to Earth within Sigil that anyone knows of. However, we do have a means to return you to Earth. Via portals, you will not wait long. But he's had to obtain the services of an outside contractor. And Tobacho looks, doesn't say anything, he goes, and waves his hand. And then off to the side near where Tobacho is, in walks a Toyota host-looking human. He's wearing dungarees. He's got this metal, Ford, like front of a pickup truck is like a breastplate kind of thing, but he's wearing otherwise no clothes, so it's just bare-chested. And he's got a big gas mask on. It's this black gas mask with the two little things on the side, and then all you can see are his eyeballs, and that he's got a bald head with tattoos all over them, and one eyeball's like veering off to the left. He looks crazy. And he's just standing there, and he walks up, kind of not really used to being on stage kind of person, so he's fidgeting immediately as he looks around the room. NP8 Badass T Infochi Cabrunque. Tobacho has retained the services of someone that says he is familiar to you. Badass T. The A is spelt with what he calls an anarchy symbol, and the two S's are dollar signs. He will take you where you wanted to go, fulfilling Tobacho's end of the bargain. Pharrell, do you have anything to say? I'm reading your face, and you're like, oh.
Home sweet home.
Nash is annoyed. He's going to say, somewhat under his breath, but not to hide it, he's going to say, this wasn't the deal. Stanley.
Okay. He's saying it to Stanley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something's fishy.
Stealth check, please.
Nash.
All right. Hold on.
It won't be a high DC, but if you do roll low, there'll be
18?
consequences.
18?
Okay, you say it quiet enough that only Stanley and Varel hear you. And Squirts. Don't forget Squirts.
No one forgets.
Don't forget me.
Tabacho, I thank you for your hospitality, for your guidance, and for your aid in getting us home. While this is not exactly what we had in mind, I guess that's the same could be said about what we brought you, and seems more than fair.
Enti abachinka. Uste un bado dipe. The rock golem turns to you and says, Tabacho has agreed that with your sentiment, but he says there is one other thing that you may wish to hear.
All right.
In pitu astende aprinke stupete a zike. And he raises his hand and summons forth an illusion. Whoosh. And the illusion is of someone you recognize standing there idly but animated. It's your dear personal friend, Hope. NP tanko e chipe oste creation e pincho astabedide 10 million golden pieces on puche a frenke. In tibes donton es 10 million golden pieces ostipoto. In Ishkran, he takes a claw and he 50 million golden pieces on chipe ashtenke. And the crowd starts. And the rock golem turns to you and he says, Tabacho thinks that you should know that your companion, who is not here, has a price on her head of 10 million gold pieces. If she's brought in without the arm, if she's brought in dead with the arm, another 10 million gold pieces. And if just her arm is brought in, the right one, then that's 50 million gold pieces. The contract is open to all entities all across creation. And as individuals who are close with Hope, you would have a very easy means to get to her and collect the bounty for yourself as accomplished treasure hunters. It's open to anyone, no commitment, but Tabacho thought it important you be aware of how the chessboard has changed.
That's definitely something for us to consider.
Well, we will leave you now with badass tea. Tabacho wishes you to know it was a pleasure doing business with such great treasure hunters. Oh, and by the way, this is just me speaking, but consider any debts related to the items you've taken absolved through the cost of the item. The rock golem then begins transforming back into a rock, and Tabacho goes, In pitiputa ashtibide, and people start jumping onto the dance floor where you're nearby, and they begin dancing again. And Tabacho's like this clawed dragon hands, he's clapping and shaking his head, and there's music going, hey, oh, nay, no, no, hey, no, ho. It just turned into a wild party all of a sudden, and as if it wasn't important that you were there and you're like meaningless and nothing in the middle of the dance floor. And this guy in the gas mask walks forward and says, Guys, hello, you remember me? He's got his mask on. Hello, come with me.
Did we meet Badass T
I
before?
don't remember this at all.
Guys, I'm badass too. I can explain more. We should get out of here. It's not a safe place in here.
Okay.
I will drop off the box on top of the rock golem, because it's theirs now. I will turn and find, was it Javert?
Jalver, yeah.
Jalver. And I will walk towards him.
Okay. He's standing, leaning against the bar, sort of nodding his head to the beat. And he's there, and he says, "Hello."
I'll take out Shatter, Angel Slayer, and hold it, flat across my head, so it looks like I'm not going to swing it, and then kind of bring it down in front of me and pass it to him in silence.
Wait, can Varel start singing? Before you take another step, Javert, there's something I must do. I bring the sword back to you, Javert.
I don't think Varel would get that humor. Okay. So you pass the hand back, and he looks to you. He says, "You are honorable, Varel. Thank you for the return of my precious item." He puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, "Be careful that your honor doesn't get you killed spending time in places like this."
I'm only sad I couldn't wet the sword for you. There was no angels to satiate its thirst. And I'll walk away.
He calls out after you. He said, "There will never be an end to angels."
I'll pause slightly and keep walking. Rejoin the party.
All right.
So the guy in the gas mask without a shirt on, but he has like pieces of car parts hanging out. He's like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna take you to a secondary location, and from there you can get to Earth. Cool? And I just want to say, keep an open mind, because this place, it's gonna be a little rough, but we won't be in any danger, just psychological danger. Does that make sense?" Okay, I'm making it worse than it is. I made it worse. I'm really sorry, guys. Just come with me. We'll get you to home. I've been waiting a long time to see you guys. Let's go.
And he begins making his way towards the exit of Tabachos.
Well, I suppose it's better than nothing.
Is he speaking of mind flayers?
I hope not.
He says he knows us. I don't recognize him. I don't know that name. I don't know that face or lack of.
Wait. No, surely not.
I gotta go. I'm out. I'll be back. It's break time. For me, you guys keep playing. I gotta go clean.
What did he spill? He spilled something.
He laughed into his cup and he shot tea or whatever it was all over his face. Oh, man.
Oops.
There he goes. At least it wasn't streamed to the internet where it will exist as a clip for forever.
Yeah, at least a room full of people didn't see it live, and then later they'll see it again, and then hear it. Some will hear it.
I'm sure no one will make a GIF.
No.
Yes, no one would be savage enough to tweet that out.
No.
Yeah,
no.
It would never be a GIF. It would never be tweeted, and it would never be retweeted after that.
That being
All
said,
right, guys, I need a full break. We just take our 10.
Yeah.
I still got coffee on my glasses here, and I need to wipe it down.
This is perfect time as any. Let's do it. We're going to take a quick 10. Everybody come back, and we'll be back. So don't leave anywhere, or don't go anywhere, chat room. We're not going too far, neither should you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Wait. He's like, wait, I got it.
It's fun watching him suss it out.
All right.
It couldn't be.
All
All right, let's not spoil anything or make any things outside the show. I'm ready to go when you are.
Oh, okay, hold on. I just realized that I need to flip over. Give me 1 second. There you go.
Got some fresh water.
Okay, we're back. We are back, and we're ready to roll. Bo, take it away. Go ahead.
Okay. My apologies for the outburst. And we are back, and Varel was just in mid-revelation in his mind. You guys are in Tobacho Fleur's establishment still. The dance floor is going on. Tobacho's dancing, and Badass T has run out of the building, urging you to follow. This is not safe in here.
Follow.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So you follow, and you make your way to the alleyway, the exit. The bodyguard just opens up the door, big orc. He just lets you out. And you walk out into the hallway, and you see Badass T standing in the street, near where the street vendor was for the frog on a stick, but the frog on a stick guy is nowhere to be seen. And he's standing there, and he's looking back, and you can't see his mouth, you just see his eyes, and they're kind of open, excited, and his eyebrows are high up. And he's like, he seems really excited for you to follow.
Okay.
Okay, so you catch up to him, the four of you, walk down the street, get close to him, and as you do that, another gentleman walks to the circle. He's got a big metal helmet on and a big suit of plate armor. Nasty looking sword with jagged edges. His armor is silver, but it has these sort of dark black and red patterns on them in the shape of skulls and crosses and pictograms of various kinds. And he walks up and he looks at you guys and he says, "Hello there."
Yes,
I'm
hello.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the Mangler.
All right.
You've perhaps heard of my work. I've mangled a great many throughout Sigil and the cosmos, and it would seem to me that this bounty upon your former colleague is quite rich. And certainly if there's that much money to be had, it must be very dangerous. I want to assure you I'm the best in the business. And I don't think it would be, if it's not too much of an imposition, I think we should collaborate in bringing down this wanted person and split the purse 6 ways. Still plenty for all of us. I'm very good at mangling.
Well, yes, you've made it your moniker.
Okay, before you can finish talking, Badass T takes out a machete and stabs him right in the neck where there's an opening in the helmet. Shink! And then blood just fills into the mask.
Jeez.
And he goes, "Mangle that!" Or you
Mangle that!
and he just takes a knife and the mangler's body's twitching. And you hear the plate mail rattling and he's just like, "Oh, come on, die! Come on and die already!" And just stabbing his neck. And then Badass T gets up, flips the knife, and the spray of blood goes around. He puts the knife in his holder, and he's like, "That's how we do it on Earth."
Is it?
Yeah! And then some passersby walk by, and it's the Hive. So they're still walking casually by, this woman and a man holding hands. And they're just watching the death happen without reacting too much at all, really. They're observing it, but they don't seem to be rushing. Like, it's kind of normal in this part of Sigil for murders to happen. We've established that, so you can read that reaction correctly. Badass T looks at them and goes,
What? Do something about it. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought you were dead. Where'd you get shoes?
Badass T turns to you and he goes, What? What?
Do I know you? Did I see you die?
You don't recognize me?
You've got a mask on, but your personality hasn't changed, child.
I'm not dead.
Well, I can see this.
Oh, I had the mask on. Hang on, I'll take off the mask.
He takes off the mask, and what you see is burnt, charred flesh. Just disgusting, and he has no lips. So you just see gums and teeth. And he goes, "Is that better?"
Beautiful.
All right,
You have the
roll what insight check, please.
14?
You're not any more sure about whatever you're thinking right now, which you haven't told me. Nothing. I was supposed to wait till we take you back to tell you. I'm ruining the surprise right now.
Yes, you are.
He puts his mask back on. He's like, "Let's go. We don't have a lot of time."
turn to Nash and Stanley. Badass tea, huh? Follow him.
All right, so Badass T makes down the road, and he says,
We need a rickshaw to get around. You guys see one?
They have them here.
You want to just hide in a bathroom of a car or something?
What? Burrell, what are you talking about?
Which rickshaw? Where? Did
I
you
don't
not
know,
come
help
with a
me find
plan?
one? I do have a plan, just not this part. Just get a rickshaw, or it's a long walk. I forget how big Sigil is. Sorry, Sigil.
All right. Is the rickshaw that we took still around? Did he drop us off?
he moved on. Rickshaw drivers tend not to hang out in the hive in places because they can get murdered, so they tend to be on the move a lot if they're in this part of town.
All right. We'll see what we can find. We're actually friends with a good deal of rickshaw drivers. A surprising amount of rickshaw drivers, actually.
The Rickshaw Guild knows you.
Split up and look for one. I'm going to go whatever way they're not going and look for a rickshaw driver.
Okay, make perception rolls as you search around the area to try and spot one.
A 1?
I got a 28.
Okay, Nash steps on the bottom of his robe and falls flat on his face as he looks around.
I'm sorry, that's a 2, but still a 2. Sorry.
If it's a natty one, you fall to the ground.
Yeah, it's a nat 1.
You're on the ground.
Yep.
Your roll again, Stanley, please.
It was a 28.
Okay. You peer off into the distance and you see one 15 blocks away down one of the roads. It's pretty far, but you see him running down the road.
I just imagine Nash. Let's split up. Falls flat on his face, and Stanley goes, "There's one."
Sounds about right.
Down that way. Nash.
All right.
Okay. I'll get up.
Okay.
I'll flag it. Nash, haste me. And I'm take position.
I'll haste him. Should I haste him? I'll haste you. Hold on. Do I really want to burn a slot on hasting you, though?
Do you have a slot for haste?
I think so.
Yeah. Must be nice. Must be nice to have spell slots.
Let it be known that Varel does not understand your spell economy. So he's expecting things that should be easy.
Yeah, what a boring conversation.
I'll burn one. It's fine. 3rd level. Let's see. How does it work? I forget. Concentration up to a minute. Okay. So it just works, Bo. I don't have to do anything as long as he's willing.
Yep. It's concentration, though, right?
Yeah.
He seems extremely willing.
Yeah,
he's willing, so
willing.
he just gets haste.
All right. You have haste.
All right. One of the benefits is the increased move speed, right? The 10 feet?
Yep.
Yep. Perfect. All right, so his Vorel's form begins to like just shiver like with heat, and he glows a little bit more red. And when he moves, there's like this little blur, and you can already see it when you raise your hand up, Vorel. You see your movements have this blur quality to them.
Sweet. Well, I move double, and then I get an extra action I can also spend to dash.
Right.
So I move, what would that be? 80? Wait. Yeah. 80 as a barbarian. 80. So 240?
Okay, perfect. So,
6
like
seconds.
a bullet, Morel just begins, and there's this blur of red that goes down the streets, and you can just see this streamer of red down the road. Morel, you speed past the buildings, and within 20 seconds, you're on top of this rickshaw driver running beside him.
Sir, I require your services.
Oh, let me slow down there. And he slows down. You sure you need my services? You're pretty fast yourself there, eh?
Thank you. I am speedy, but my friends are weak and feeble. They require to sit in your mobile.
Okay. Sorry, one sec. I need a moment. Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, where do you want me to pick him up? Do you want to hop in? I'll take you to him.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So he stopped. You hop into the rickshaw, and he turns around and begins ring down. He says, "Say, where'd you learn that trick? That'd be a mighty fine trick for a rickshaw driver to know."
It takes companions and friendship.
Oh, well, I have lots of that, but still can't run fast. And then after this conversation, at that point, you reach the rest of your companions in the square where Tabacho's establishment is. He says, "Pretty dangerous part of town, eh? You guys aren't troublemakers, huh?" Badass T just points to the dead body. He says,
We're troublemakers. Take us where we need to go, please.
and he jumps into the rickshaw.
All right, this should be interesting. Stanley climbs aboard.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Squirts does as well.
All right. And he says, "Where to, everyone?"
Where are we going,
Well,
badass?
T.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I assume as far away from possible as this incriminating evidence of your friend here.
Where we going, T?
1 second. Can you take us to...
And he opens up this notepad he has in his book, and he's reading it.
Yeah. Take us to Pinocchio Street, please.
What?
Very good. And he begins moving, and the rickshaw begins moving briskly up a hill, and you make it sort of the top of this slummed area after a few minutes. Is the ride quiet? Is anyone chatting during the ride? That sounds
Chunks
like a
is
no.
making little sounds.
All right, so the ride is mostly quiet, and
For whatever's
yeah.
left of the minute, I sit there kind of fidgeting, quickly moving hands back and forth.
Okay, perfect. You leave that area of town, the Hive, eventually. He runs up, and after it's about a 15-minute ride, he takes you to this serene, kind of suburban area. You end up all of a sudden noticing there's a lot more trees in this area. The houses have grown larger. There's not really... Most of the places you've been in Sigil have been very urban and very like filled with businesses or activities or guilds, and everything's like buildings on top of buildings on top of buildings. So this area is very lush and spacious, and you begin to see the people around this area are the nobility that we were talking about at the beginning of the show. They have fine clothing, probably all from Lohar, if you had to guess, Pharrell. They dress rich, they seem rich, and then he runs up to Pinocchio Street, which just looks like any other road. Strange name. Turns left on it, and he looks back at Badass T. He says, "Which street did you want to go to, eh?"
And Badass T goes,
Or not street. Sorry, not street. Street number.
it's 52.
All right. And he runs down the road a little bit farther and brings you to 52. And in this area, it's just one-story houses, like bungalow style, with these small lawns. They're not still huge places, but comparatively for Sigil, these are large lawns with houses on them. And there's one that says 52. It's got one floor, and the roof sort of goes in a V shape, and there's a garage door even, and like a little stable area where a horse is kind of just hanging out tied to it. And rickshaw driver says, "Well, there you go. You're here."
Thank you. What is your fee for this travel?
That'll be a gold piece, please, and whatever tip you care to give. We live off our tips, so tip generously.
I understand, and I grab 3 gold pieces for the danger associated with it.
Ah, too kind. A gentleman, if I met one. And then the rickshaw driver lets you disembark, and he begins running off. Badass T looks to you, he says,
Okay, guys, where we need to go is in here. But this house does not belong to us. The portal's in the basement. So we need to either ask the owners nicely if they'll let us in and use it again, or we sneak in.
Use it again. You've used this before?
When I came here, I used this portal, but I snuck out before anyone saw me. So I
Oh.
do know there is a window in the back of the house, but I see a horse tied up here. Someone might be home.
Oh, well,
I don't want to have to kill anyone again.
yeah, maybe hold off on the let's just machete somebody while they're in the middle of talking for a moment. Vorel, do you have an opinion? Should we sneak in or just try and talk our way through?
As much as I would like to dive straight home, I have a feeling we will be using this portal again. If we can do it in good graces, that would be best.
I agree. There's a good chance we may need it again. Wouldn't hurt to be friendly with the people that are housed above it. We'll talk to.
All right then. Stanley, you're the man with the silver tongue, right? You should talk to him.
Very well. I'll go up to the door and knock.
Okay. You knock, and then you hear the crashing of pots and pans,
And then you hear, "Just a minute!"
and a minute passes by, and you hear footsteps at the door, and a little old man opens up and goes, "Yes, can I help you?"
Do I recognize him?
Insight check, please.
I feel like I've heard this voice before.
Nope.
It's the frog vendor.
20.
You
Not
recognize him as the frog on a stick vendor near Tabacho's,
Good call, Kristen. Nice job.
but he doesn't seem to recognize you at all. He goes, "Yes."
Oh. Hello, sir. We've met before. You are a frog on the stick vendor down in the hive.
Uh-huh. Indeed, I am. Indeed, I am.
Yes, we were just actually down there. I didn't see your stand. Have you changed occupations?
I took some time off. Even the frog on a stick vendor needs holidays.
Of course they do. Well, funny enough, were you aware of the fact that you have a portal in your basement?
Ah! No!
Well, I have it on good authority that you do.
Yeah, you do. I stuck in there last time and came through it.
Well, thank you for informing me of this. Great news. I'll be sure to make a lot of money from this.
Well, I think that us bringing you this information might give us a bit of a finder's fee or a finder's privilege associated with this. I mean, we brought it to your attention. You're about to be a very wealthy business owner on account of myself and my friends here. Maybe we can work a little something out. How does that sound?
Well, as you can see, if I made a killing on frog on a stick, look at the neighborhood I live in.
Well, imagine what you're going to be making now. You are the champion of 2 enterprises.
Yes.
Well,
Persuasion roll, please, for I know that you're trying to get a deal going with him.
yeah, 27.
Well, it seems to me that it's only fair if I allow you right of way to the portal as the finder fee. I don't see that being a problem, as long as nothing illicit is intended on your part.
Oh no, it actually leads to our home. We're going to be going home. So, we can of course go through and whatever price you feel you want to charge people who pop on through that side, you just let us know. We'll spread the word on our end. How's that sound?
Excellent. Oh, this is wonderful. Show me the portal, please.
Tea, if you will.
Yeah, this way.
And he walks right, brushes past the old man, and he walks in. And he goes, "It's in the basement." And he walks down, chunk, 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 into the small little basement. Said, "Does everyone follow?"
Yeah.
Yeah?
Warily.
All right, so this home is very homely. It's very comfortable. There's a wood stove, and there's the pots and pans all over the floor that appeared to have spilled when you knocked. But apart from that, it's very homely, very wonderful, and little dusty, but not bad place. You make your way to the basement, so down these wooden stairs, and there's this cool brick. And in this bottom floor is all kinds of shelves with all kinds of frogs. This wall-to-wall frog bodies and like aquariums filled with living frogs, and then like these stacks of like cool ice where like dead frog corpses are kept, and there's like a butcher's table where frogs are cut apart. It's a frog mausoleum. Like, it's a horrifying place where frogs are raised, killed, and packaged for consumption. And then Badass T looks around, he points at a wall, and he says, there on that brick wall, you'll find there's a portal, but you can't just get to it. There's a ritual to be performed. So I'll show you the ritual so that you can use it in the future, and then we can use it now.
Well,
yeah.
We should go through now. Oh, you're talking to the frog guy. Never mind.
So Nash, we can't go through till we do the ritual. Have you been through a portal before?
Yes. Couple of kinds.
So who wants to help me with this ritual? Because I'm not the most literate person, and it requires reading.
I'll assist with that. Nash does not have a great history with opening portals.
Okay, so I need one person to eat a dizzle dink and one person to recite this poem called To Earthbound, or something like that. I can't read very well. But in Dwarvish, while standing on their head.
I'll eat the twizzle dink.
Yeah, you will.
Does anybody here actually speak Dwarvish?
Not me.
Squirt?
I have the phonetic spelling. I can give you the phonetic spelling if you can't speak Dwarvish.
Okay.
Okay.
He flips through his notebook, and he's like,
I have it here somewhere. I know. 1 second.
so Stanley, I'm going to send you a text to read. You will have to read the text. You won't be able to wave hand this one. So if that changes your
Okay.
opinion.
Let me see what it is first.
And you've got to do it while standing on your head, according to Badass T.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Is it bad?
It's real bad.
This is how we get to Earth.
What's the
I'm
fizzle
I'm sorry,
stick?
Stanley. I know reciting things not in your language is not a preferred thing for you to do.
I'm just gonna
We
say
gotta do this.
honestly, I'm impressed you were able to do this.
Oh, you don't need to do this when you're coming through it, just if you're leaving through it.
Oh.
How convenient.
Is there an order to which somebody has to stand on their head and read this versus eating the dwizzled dink?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. Actually, there's a note in here. After you say the last word of the poem is when Nash here will have to eat the dizzle dink, and I'll get that for you.
And he reaches into his rucksack, and he pulls out a stick with a weird looking plant on it. It's like not lettuce, celery.
Okay.
But it has like a little bulb on the end, and the bulb is heavier, and it kind of sways back and forth on the stick.
Okay.
But it's green. It's completely green.
Okay.
It looks like a celery.
All right. I'm down.
How did you learn about this ritual?
Well, my master told me what to do. This isn't me. All will be revealed soon, he told me to tell you.
Okay.
Master.
All right.
Pardon me,
So,
Earl?
if I've got this right, I'm to stand on my head, read this. At the very end, Nash, you have to eat the thing on the stick.
Yeah. Unless it's different than that, that's my understanding.
All right. Shall we begin?
I'm ready. Now, can I hold
Right.
the twizzle stick?
I'll need an
or-
acrobatics check for the handstand. You'll need to make 3 as the poem goes on.
Okay. Do you want me to
So-
roll them all up front or roll them as I read?
You roll them as you read. So we're going to do 3 stanzas, then a roll. 3 stanzas, then a roll. Then 2 stanzas, then a roll. Okay?
Okay.
I'll
so
stop you for the. I'll say roll when it's roll time.
am I starting with a roll to start the handstand?
Oh shit! Yeah, never mind then. I'll just ping you for the following two. Start with one.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry.
It's a natural 20 for a 26.
Nice.
Oh well, that'll count for two rolls. So there you go.
Well
Good
done.
form.
Yeah.
All right.
So you stand right on your head, and nothing falls magically because you're somehow great like that. And
All right. Stanley looks down at the book and begins.
you don't have a hand to hold the book, so Badass T actually comes up, picks up the book, and unless you're handstanding with one hand, can you do that?
No, I was gonna mage hand the book.
Oh, I'll let you do the cool thing. I'll shut up.
That is cool.
So,
Yeah.
so the mage hand carries the book on over, and Stanley looks down and begins to read. Sklijef on eth svor av eom jeg glagati borla az aventh dentha seemed avirv kajunkith jeg levad froth wunster dentha trost mick borfa hajeter eth Jew off was doth musk Borfra Nolathajal on hill on tusk Jeg Olin eth swirl oz ache Borfra spra avor honeysuckle Dentha Ovid Thajare Menthed Hrisur Du Froth eth Knob Jeg. Oh.
This is where you get your free roll. This is your free pass.
Okay.
So you continue on. Yep.
It's long.
It's beautiful. You're reciting a poem. That's how these things go. Continue.
Jeg craved Bothan sweets doc ta. Seemed Bothan Ovid Jeg of Gogan. Eth Viljal Avor eth Araz. Doth of Detha stung. Mju Atur regime doc lock salt. Dentha jer ek deshed heth. Oz weariness Oz fault. Jeg crave eth stain. Is this the roll?
Yeah. No, after the. Oh, you can do it now. Do it now. Let's get it over with.
It's 18.
You're still good.
Avor Bortablad eth aftermark. Avor Nistlik Avavir Kajunkith Sklijef eth avor bitter Adrida Osberg Clove Ovid Staff Oz Sor Oz Mavgor Jeg Oljon of Utsi Mot Brond Bofra Leaning Froth Doth Vort E Grass Oz Ageth Eth Dothur Jer Ek Gennigan Jeg Lag Rir Agunchal Oz Gildeth Ilv Inesta Eth Olgather Eom Ruff Ilv Lurlam Mot Length. And then Stanley
Now's the time.
has the
Nash.
little mage hand point to Nash.
All right.
Nash, you're up.
I eat it.
All right, and then
Okay, I think it's happening. 1 second.
and he turns to look at the wall, and the wall goes whoosh, and a doorway-shaped portal appears, all purple and mystical looking. And it goes whoa, 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 whoa.
All right, after you.
He says to everyone.
Varel, you should go first.
With pleasure.
Just because you're big and stuff.
And as I'm about to enter, I lean over to Stanley, who's getting up, and Nash. Watch out for this master. And I'll walk through.
Okay.
All right, you walk through the portal with a whoosh, and immediately you're in some weird spaceport. Your brain doesn't comprehend what it is, but you see that there's steel everywhere and ships taking off, like flying down, and there's like people walking around. But everyone here is not a diverse crowd. They all look the same. They're these sort of yellow, like blobs. There's a little blob and a medium blob, like a snowman, and they sort of bounce around on the what would you call it? The dock, if you will. You're just in this open air area, almost No Man's Sky style, with these little docks, these little ships everywhere. But that's only something you see. Stanley and Nash. Badass T looks to you and he goes,
"Let's go. We gotta go."
All right.
All right. Stop doing the handstand. Retrieve the book. Make sure that's coming with me.
Mm-hmm.
And
wait, Badass's book?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if he reaches for it, I'll give it to him. He's coming, right?
He doesn't notice. So you can, if you picked up the book, he didn't notice for the moment.
All right. Yeah, I'll take the book.
Okay. Perfect. So the Badass's book in your inventory.
And I'll step through.
Perfect. Nash?
Same. I'll walk through.
All right. You step through and see the same immediate situation that I described to Varel. And then after you, Badass T walks through, and his knife is kind of bloody. And the portal closes behind him.
Whoa. His knife is kind of bloody?
Yeah, he's like wiping it off on his pants, and then he puts it back in. And he goes,
"All right, let's go to the next thing."
Hold on a second. Did you just kill the frog guy?
I'd rather not answer that, Nash. We gotta keep moving.
That seems unnecessary.
We can't have any witnesses. The whole world is looking for you. Remember the Mangler? They're following us even now. We have to erase our tracks so they can't find us.
Well, there's a great big track now dead in a basement.
All right, see that ship down the dock? You need to get into it.
And he points, and there's this airship-looking thing, this sort of boat.
It's like, if you want to get back to Earth, the portals don't connect to Seagull. We'll need to take that to the secondary location I talked to you about. From there, you will be able to travel anywhere.
All right.
Just get on the ship, please. Trust me.
He makes a roll.
Proved yourself real trustworthy.
All right, and as you look around, you notice that it's very peaceful here, and there are these weird snowman-looking yellow things just sort of bouncing around, and the ship he's pointed to you is maybe about 100 feet from you. It's a boat. It looks pretty standard, airship styles, right? So it has made of wood, has the big engines, looks a lot like Captain Bjart's ship. But apart from that, not very distinct. Big sails on it.
All right. Walk together. No trouble. Where's Squirts?
Squirts is here.
Oh. Okay, no trouble, Squirts. We're walking.
So the
No
six of you. Sorry. So the six of you walk down the dock, and a plank gets lowered from the top, and there's a little gnome up there that says, "Come on in!" And and this plank sort of gets extended down to the dock, and Badass T begins to get onto the ship. And he goes,
"Come on, guys, let's go."
And gets onto the ship.
All
All right.
right.
So the rest of you follow. If there's no objection, you guys all get on the ship, and he beckons. Just said, if you guys want to go downstairs, you can entertain yourselves there. If not, you're welcome to stay on the dock. The gnome crew that's on here goes, "All right, push off!" And then the ship just slowly unhinges itself immediately, as if it was waiting for you guys right off the dock. And it sort of floats around.
And then Badass T looks to the gnome. He says, "All right, as we discussed, fire on that portal."
And then gnome goes, "Fire!" And then large rockets, not rockets, but cannonballs, just like boom, 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 boom. These large clouds of smoke erupt from the side of the ship and begin shooting the portal where he went through. And a large column of smoke raises up, and immediately you hear, and he's like,
"All right, it's time to go."
And the gnomes start working furiously all around. You guys have nothing to do. You're just part of this ride, and they're all throwing ropes and setting the sails up and just flying up off the planet and into the atmosphere, into outer space.
And then Badass T's like, get the improbability drive going.
And the whole crew's like, all right. And then Badass T walks up to the steering wheel, and he spins it around, and then the top turns into a joystick, one of the handles, and he clicks the button, click, and the whole ship goes and traverses into hyperspace. We're gonna switch now to Hope, but do we want to take a break before that happens, or I think I need 5 before we get to Hope. But
Okay. Yeah.
that's what we're gonna do
Sounds
next.
good.
Let's take. Whoa.
That sounded like a Star Wars like
Wow.
wildlife.
Hi, Bo. You're muted.
Hello, everyone.
Oh,
Yeah,
hi.
I was just unmuting.
I
Sorry.
just looked down and saw him, and he's just like,
You're back.
So let's have a moment of silence for our friend, the Fog on a Stick vendor.
man,
He's in a better place now.
that sucks.
Does suck.
Nice vendor.
Yeah. And of all the Sigil idiots we ran into, he's my favorite because he was nice.
Yeah.
As we stretched into oblivion, I'd like to imagine Varel screamed, "I said no trouble!"
Nice.
Okay, so are we all back?
Yep. We're good to
Think
go
so.
when you are.
Oh, we started recording?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. We can go.
Okay, sorry. All right. I didn't realize.
Totally fine.
All right. So, purple swirls, blue stars. There's a cloud of smoke. And from this cloud of smoke emerges Hope, walking purposefully through the portal. Hope, as you and your companions and Spatulo walk through the portal back to hell in the Kaiser Casino, you return to that nightclub scene, and it's the nightclub in the casino, Kaiser Casino, is filled with clients, patrons, as you remember. And in the middle of the room, you see Brett standing there with his white dining jacket and looking, sharp and tip-top as ever, talking to an 8 or 9 foot tall man made entirely of metal. And that metal man turns his face to you, and you recognize him immediately as the principal. And they look to you. They both look at you, and Brett goes, "You're back already. That wasn't long. Come on in."
No, did you know?
I know a lot. You have to
You
be
know
more
damn well
specific.
what I'm talking about. Did you know?
He looks at the principal. He goes, "Did I know what?"
That they could find me.
Oh, shit. Well, yeah, I knew that.
He's such a
You
dick.
didn't think that the forces of hell don't have ways of finding people throughout the cosmos quite easily? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say things that way. What's happened? You've only been gone for, I don't know, half a day maybe? What?
Just talk. What is it? What is he doing here? What?
Oh, you might know him. You're from the same world. This here is Vladimir. Vladimir? Do you know? He immediately speaks and he goes, "Yes, I have met. Our two empires have a treaty of peace currently." Oh, you know each other. That's great. Vladimir here was just telling me that he ran into some trouble back home too. The principal looks at you and he says, "Yes, Principal City is under attack by demonic forces unexpectedly. I've come here for contingencies. But I'm shocked to find you here, Hope. Did not take you for a traveler of the cosmos. I'm very rarely surprised. I am very rarely surprised, but here we are. Well, there's a bit of tension I can feel, so, let's talk it out. Let's work together, find a solution to things so we can move forward. Hope, how's your friend holding up?
Don't.
Oh, all right.
I want to point out Styria still has 2 Teocalines under each arm that he ran through the portal with.
Oh, you're holding on to 2 Khalid people?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Minotaur is just standing there with 2 tieflings that are just dumbfounded and shocked at everything they're seeing right now. Spatula's leaning against the bar. He goes to order a drink.
Hopeful look to Styrius. Protect them.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot I had him. But, yeah, we'll, just set you down there and, welcome to hell.
The principal looks to Brett and then looks to Hope and he says, I demand to know what's going on here. I am the defender of Earth, and it would seem to me, Brett, that you have not told me everything. And Brett looks and he goes, well, some stuff's happened. Hope here, you know, I was somewhat aware of her, but, you know, she did this crazy thing. You know that, well, there's an artifact that everyone's been talking about, trying to get after. Hope here, you know, got a hold of it, and within about 2 seconds of having it, lopped off her arm, put that thing on. Oh, look at it. Why don't you show that off there, Hope?
Hope just stands there staring.
This is true, Hope, says the principal.
Yes.
Then I weep for you. For what you have upon your arm will forever change the course of your history.
My history was already changed. What is going on?
Brett looks around and he goes, okay, look, guys. Everyone wants that thing that you put on your hand there, Hope, right? It's a great and powerful artifact. And as you saw, there was a big war that we're having all across the outer plains in the Outland. You know, you had to expect that some people weren't going to just accept that you're the chosen one to be wearing it. So, you know, now things are changing and people know who you are.
Well,
Tell me,
fucking great.
Look, let's have a drink, okay? You're safe here. It's a safe place. Hell is welcome to all. So let's get a drink. Sit down. Principal goes, I do not require drinks. But very well. And
I'm like an oil canister.
Brett motions to an open area of the nightclub, and patrons immediately disappear. And it becomes more like a Godfather meeting kind of thing, just a quiet, empty restaurant. It's still the same nightclub though, but it's all empty except for there's a wait staff that are there, and a waiter comes out and brings drinks, puts them right on the at the table. And the principal pulls out a chair and sits his giant ass down in a tiny little chair at the table, and Brett moves the table, pulls out a seat, and says, "For you, pulls out the chair, gentleman-like, for you to sit down, Hope."
Hope will sit down.
Okay, and you're seated across from the principal, and then Brett sits on the side between the two of you, and he looks to your companion and says, "Please sit by the bar. We'll be with you if we need you."
All right, Sirius makes his way over to the bar.
All right, Sirius moves there. Hendrickson.
Yep. I'll go there, unless she wants me to go somewhere else.
Mr.
No, that's for you, but I just want to know if anyone's doing anything different. Dr. Spider?
No, I'm just...
Come, friends, time for libation.
All right, and with that, the rest of the party moves towards the bar, and it's just a conversation now with the three of you. Brett looks around at both you and the principal. He says, "Okay, so you guys know each other, but you're not on best terms. This isn't, a good guy versus bad guy kind of thing, because Hope, the Vladimir here, is the defender of Earth. And you have an artifact that many would consider to be Well, even the denizens of hell and the abyss and the gray wastes all fear it. One might describe you as heading on a trajectory towards becoming an incarnate of evil.
Hope
So that-
Hope doesn't make any emotion, but inside that's pretty
So,
freaking cool.
maybe we can avoid any conflict and bloodshed between the great forces of Earth by talking it out here. I think you guys should be on the same side. Vladimir looks to you and says, I know little of hope. We've met before, and we discussed a treaties between the two people. I allowed them to remain a sovereign state because I felt I could trust in Hope's character. Now I'm not so sure.
I think we're a bit beyond this right now. My kingdom was just destroyed.
My kingdom as well, Hope, says the principal. Not 8 hours ago, a horde of unending number broke the atmosphere. Is that how you say it? Breached the atmosphere and descended upon Principal City. Even now, my people are being raised. I've come here to Brent, as we've previously established some contingencies when you arrived.
So what would these contingencies be? And also, why would they attack Principal City?
I'm trying to find that out. I take it you don't know then.
Out of game, Kristen's excited Principal City might have an eyeball. Okay, but anyway, no, I don't know anything.
Brett says, well, clearly that's not 100% true, because we know that you've got that hand, and we know that Orcus and his little pals kind of want to get their hands on it. So I think that's been answered now, right? Right, everyone? Mm-hmm.
But why Principal City? The hand wasn't there.
This is more on me than on you guys. You got to understand demons. They don't care. We're sitting here, we're having a conversation, we're expressing feelings, we're going to come to a mutual understanding so that we can work together more effectively. That's the hell way. The demon way is shut up and die. So, if they happen to be going to a planet where they want something, well, they're going to annihilate the planet while they're there. I mean, it's pretty simple. That solves that mystery.
So that's it then.
Principal looks to you and says, it's not all. That artifact that you're wearing upon your hand, I've been seeking it for some time.
The ring?
The hand.
Oh, the hand.
The voice who speaks to you, Hope. And there's a metallic tint to his voice that I can't do with mine that you hear. Yes. I was seeking this artifact to employ in my defense of our world. But it seems you have it now, and short of killing you, there would be no way for me to make use of it now that you have it. But I don't see this as a loss. You're of Earth. I am of Earth. Perhaps we can join forces in defending it.
Is there even an Earth to defend anymore? I mean, you said it. It's raised. It's gone. Everyone's dying. The kingdoms are destroyed.
I've seen the Earth burn once. I have a very good understanding of what it can survive.
That's it. We just let it die.
No hope. That is not your way to let everything fall apart around you. I have much to show you, says the principal. I think we should combine our might and strike back at our enemies and defend Earth together.
Hope will go quiet and look around for the hooded figure.
The hooded figure? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It's nowhere to be seen.
Okay. I'll listen to what you're proposing, but no promises.
Words may fail to impress upon you my tale. Let us start from the beginning. And he looks to Brett and he says, show her. And Brett goes, all right. He snaps his fingers, and whoosh, the table that you're sitting at immediately is floating in space, in blue sky. And you're floating all around in the sky, and there's blue, and you don't see anything. Then all of a sudden you hear a whoop, 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 whoosh, and a giant space, like a shuttle in the Earth's sky, flies past you, and wind blows all the drinks off the table. And then as you lower down, the clouds part, and you see future Earth. And the principal says, this is the year 2752. A time where humanity has reached so deep into the secrets of the world that they know no rival. And yet they are far removed from the greater reality of creation. And you begin floating around a virtual paradise. And as you float around, you begin to see you descend into these megapolis area with these giant tall buildings, and not only tall buildings on the ground, but floating islands with tall buildings on top and tall buildings hanging underneath upside down in this crazy sky. And it begins turning into almost like a Coruscant like thing. The only difference between Coruscant and this is that you can see trees and greenery, like there's urban parks. And as you descend lower, you see all kinds of stores, like a sushi store and like, you know, some sort of department area, and it's all futuristic and sci-fi, and there's humans walking around happy, and you even see a human holding hands with a demon, and the demon on a leash has a tiefling behind it, and they're walking down the road, and there's, you know, just everything looks happy and beautiful. And the principal says, for a period of time we knew greatness here, but this is Earth before the scorching, before they came. And the table descends down onto future Earth, and you're now sitting sort of on this weird road that you don't quite understand. It's got lights and little connectors on it. The principal says, please look around. And the rest of the party, you can see this as well. Your bar is kind of floating off to the side out of view, but you are seeing everything as well. And as you get up and walk by that couple, it's like a male demon and a female human. And on a leash, the male demon has like a tiefling who's walking by, and the tiefling's got his hands up like this, and he's just kind of hopping behind like a bunny rabbit. But he's a tiefling.
That's so weird. Hope will go and try and touch the tiefling.
Turns to you and looks, and he goes, hey, hands off my property.
And Hope will back up.
Keep walking.
And then she'll just look around what kind of people, situations.
He says, it is unfortunate how your people were treated, but the demons insisted it be so. And we had little care for your kind at that time. And you look around further as he says this, and you see that there's like, looks like some sort of like shop. You see people inside shopping, and all you just see is lights. Bing, 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 bing. Like just it's flashing and crazy. And there's a shop that's really capturing your attention down the road.
Cool. Hope will go check it out.
You walk towards it, and as you get to an area that looks like a door, the door just goes whoosh, opens on its own, and the sounds of beep 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 float like out from the door.
Hopeful will cautiously walk in.
You walk in, and right when you get in, you see like there's this young teenage human male sort of flipping through like what looks to be these square boxes, and he goes, "Oh man, I can't find it." Flipping through the boxes. Excuse me, sir. Do you have a copy of Shooting Raiders 52? The guy at the counter says, "No, it's on back order. If you want that, I'm going to have to fill out an order form for you. You want me to do that?" He goes, "Yes, please." And he brings up a panel, puts a thumbprint on it, and then some laser shoots into his eyes. And then you hear the human's mouth go, and then he looks and he's like, "Order placed." And there appears to be this product in these boxes that people are into in this store.
Oh, well,
The principal's
yeah.
moved behind you now, and he says, "They knew great decadence and luxury here, even enjoying imaginary worlds that they've created with infinite possibilities, that not only could they live out their normal lives, but as they sleep, they could live out second lives."
Hopeful will leave the store and go looking around at other stores.
All right. And as you go to look around at the next door, the sky darkens a bit, and you hear, "Reet, reet, reet, reet." The principal says behind you, "Today is the day that it happened." Reet, reet, reet. And a big billboard, like a sign, shows up on the screen and says, "Citizens of Earth, get to your homes. This is not an emergency. We are under attack."
This is
It's
not
the
an
gnomes.
emergency.
He didn't say that. I just couldn't help it.
It was the gnomes!
We're under attack. And then all of a sudden you see like these like weird bird shaped silhouettes in the sky, and they get closer and closer. And then the principal looks and says, "Brett, bring us closer." And then immediately the three of you begin floating up into the air as the ground beneath you just descends away, and you're sort of floating, and you begin to see dragons as they pierce through the sky, and one flies right at you, breathing fire. And do you recoil, or do you bravely?
No, she's lost everything. She'll just
Okay.
stand there.
You just stand there looking at it, and the fire blows through you, it being an illusion, and the dragon flies through you. Whoosh! And then you turn around and look, and immediately that place where you're standing, this purple and green fire just goes and shreds, completely annihilates the street you were just on. And everywhere you see, dragons are descending and spitting fire and torching the ground. And then finally, relief comes from behind. You see a spaceship flying on a course towards one of the dragons. And the side panels of the spaceship opens up, and these lizard folk with all this armor that you saw in the Cetus, like the nano-weave suit and the shoulder grappling hooks, they all jump out of the ship and begin firing grappling hooks at dragons. There's 10 of them in this elite death squadron, and the lizard folk all hit the dragon, latch onto it, and then pull out their laser swords and begin slicing in midair all the dragons, and parts fly off. And then another dragon flies next to it and casts a magic spell, and all of the lizard folk just fall off of this dragon and fall to the earth. And then as that happens, you see this cloud of black. Bamf! And then this warrior just bamfs on top of one of the same dragon, and then without any weapons takes his claws and begins clawing scales off of him, and then his teeth turn into vampire teeth, and he goes, "Ah!" Bites the vampire, and he begins digging into the vampire, eating him from the inside out, and the dragon's like, "Ah!" And it flies to the ground, blows up. And the principal looks to Brett and says, "We've seen enough. Take her to the moment." And then the whole time begins to... And now you're all in this... You're in a room in the Cetus, the Center for Human Demon Interdisciplinary Studies, a room that you had not seen before below ground. And you see a skinny young white male with long kind of hair, but looking very fragile and frail. And he walks towards a panel, and he's typing. The principal looks to that person, and he says, "Here's me, over 1,000 years ago. I think I've aged pretty well." And then as he's typing, a security guard walks in from the back. He says,
"Sir, do you have clearance to be in here?"
And the white skinny guy in a lab coat, he turns around and he goes, "No, I do not. I don't have permission to be in here."
What?
But desperate times call for desperate measures. The security guard's like, "What are you talking about? Come with me. You have to leave, sir." And then very nervously, the little skinny guy reaches into his pocket and pulls out like this pistol, his revolver. He says, "Don't come any closer." With a Russian accent. "Don't come any closer." Whatever. I don't know how to do that. And then he shoots the guard immediately. And it hits him right in the neck. And the guy's like, ah. And the white male in the lab coat turns around and again begins prepping something on this large console, and he presses a button, and a large cloud of cold exhaust just goes, and a chamber opens up with this thing that he can sit in, like lion, and he begins getting into it and strapping himself in, strapping his legs in, his arms in, his face in. But before he does it, he clicks a button on a console that he has, like on some sort of cell phone type thing. Maybe he had in his pocket. He flips it, and a panel on the other side of the room opens up on a large billboard, and you see that there's like this news report, and it's showing Earth becoming a wasteland. And the news reporter says, "Death counts are in the millions yet again. If you are listening to this broadcast, get to safety. The defenders of Earth are doing everything they can. We just need you to be safe. There are underground shelters for you to go to. If not, consult your local magistrate for directions on how to survive this attack. Humanity will prevail." And there's a sort of like propaganda-ish vibe to it as instructions are being dealt with. And you just hear the young white male, Vladimir, in a lab coat, and he goes, "Fuels." He turns off that screen and he clicks a button, and where he's strapped into just gets moved into this large device. And you hear, and then the thing lights up. He's missing this large like blood jar, like this huge cylinder of blood begins filling up. And there's all these pumps that are pumping the blood, and they run into other tubes, and soon all these clear tubes that were all throughout the room begin filling up with blood, and the blood's kind of glowing. And the principal looks and says, "That's enough of this. Let's move on to the next thing." And this immediate scene just goes, and then it's almost like you're being sucked back into the sky through the ground, and you see the facility from the ground that he's in, where the Cetus is, where Kervalon is. You see this castle. It's lush and green, but everywhere around it's burning. And as you move up, you see that an explosion erupts from the location. Purple, turning the land completely purple, providing you with some sort of explanation as to why the Daemon Vold is purple. And you move up, and eventually the illusion dissipates. And then you sit across, back at the table. You're as if you never left. You're back at the table with the principal.
She said millions were dead again. How many times has this happened?
The scorching happened once, but it annihilated billions. The death count was millions per day, but the final toll is a number that's not even knowable. I have remained here on Earth these past centuries, a millennia now, defending it from those who would wish it harm. I do what others will not do. Are you such a person, Hope? That you'll do what it takes?
Hope will look at her hand and look back up at the principal and go, I think we all know the answer to that.
Good. Then there's one thing that we must establish that you must know about me. And if you can look past that, then we'll be able to work together. One more illusion, Brett. Brett goes, sure thing. Snaps his fingers and whoosh. You're in this large, cold facility. Cement or concrete on the ground, and these large cylindrical pillars are everywhere, and they have these glowing pods in them. The principal's there with you, and he walks around as if he's very familiar with this place, and he says, you must understand, Hope, that I too have power. I have the power to cheat death. Most throughout the cosmos who've achieved this power have done so at the blessing or curse of a god or power with whom you are by now familiar with and know are very real. No more of this atheism nonsense that Earth was known for. But my power does not come from a god. It comes from the brilliance of humanity mastering the universe around it. I introduce you to the Lich Project.
Hope will look around, try and make sense of where they're standing.
Because I cannot harness the power of a god yet. I must harness the power of mortality. True mortal souls. He walks up to a vat and he flips a button on it, and the covering slides open. He reaches his big metal hand in and he pulls out, grabbing it by the back of his neck, a pod person. So it's a human being, but the skin is pretty much translucent. It has no legs, no arms, no genitals. There's a pee hole though that you can see. It has a mouth where food can put in, but no nose, no eyes. This here is a living human in pod form, without all of the things to cause me trouble. And he places it gently back in. They are grown quickly to maturation, and they are fed into the machine that sustains my life. 100 of these a day is the cost to continue my life. We've become very efficient at this. We grow these pod people, and when they expire and their souls are spent, we process them back into food to feed the next generation of pod people. And we must do this every day. So there are 100,000 different flights of pod people at any given moment.
Where do you grow these from?
We grow them from a gene pool.
We'll just shake her head and look around.
Many would be horrified to learn the truth of my power. You are one of few who know this. But now that the worst of my secrets is known to you, do you still wish to work with me?
Hope will take a breath and look around and think for a second. And then grim resolve will fade over her face, and she'll give a steely look to the principal and nod.
Very good. Brent gets up and goes, "That's great! Awesome! All right." Poof, and the illusion disappears completely. I knew that I could get you guys talking. I mean, you're from the same world. You have a lot of common interests. I mean, the principal's power is pretty fucking awesome. Right? Sorry. Swearing. I know. He takes out a gold piece, flips it into a swear jar. That's on the counter. The principal's pretty spectacular guy. And you know what, Hope? I think you're pretty spectacular too. I got to say, it takes a lot of cojones, right? To just chop off your arm as soon as you get the thing. And, like, I'm impressed. I think you hold the record for that, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I'm glad you guys are chatting. Yeah, so that's great. Here's Brett bringing people together. He's very satisfied with himself.
Hope will look back at the three at the bar. What are they up to?
Sirius is just leaning against the bar, looking at the other two, taking a drink, enjoying the libations, as Dr. Spider put it.
I just sit there. I just stand hunched over and go. That's all I do. I don't say anything to anybody. Just ragged breath.
Dr. Spider is cooing and petting the container with the child floating inside of it, going, "Oh, there you go. There you go."
Hope will then turn to Brett and motion with her head. And these three come along still.
Brett says, "You're going to need muscle." And the principal looks to you and says, "Yes, where you're going, you will need muscle. I'm required on Earth, but where you will be going will be much more dangerous."
And where am I going and why?
Now that you've begun this journey with this voice, with this keeper of secrets, he is perhaps not yet revealed to you this information that I will. There's a second artifact. This entity that you carry with you. It is not a god, and yet it both is a god and not. It's a god of secrets. You will never know everything there is to know. You will always be a pawn in his agenda. And if you wish to fulfill the destiny that he set before you, you will seek out the eye of the voice. I haven't been able to locate it myself yet, Hope. But I know someone who can. Perhaps you would like to speak to them personally.
Yes.
Seek out Tobacho Fleur. Do you know this person?
Hope will take a deep breath and sigh. He's indirectly responsible for what just happened. Yes, I know him.
Speak with Tobacho. That is where your path lay. Brett says, "Sweet! Now you guys are getting along and you know what to do next." That sounds like I was pretty helpful. So just want to say, it wasn't very cool for you to take a gate, through back here, and start accusing me right the second you walk in, all right? I've been trying to help you, Hope. Cool, and he puts out his hand. Shake on it.
No deals.
Not a deal. It's just we're shaking on mutual respect. That's the
No
deal.
shaking.
I respect. I get it. I deserve that. Sure. Okay. But we're cool?
Yeah.
All right, then. And there's a loud sigh from the bar, and Spatullo sort of swirls his drink and goes, "Where to next?" It's a bit.
And why would I bring you anywhere?
Not in front of them. If you want to talk to me, you come talk to me. Privately.
So then next what? The three of you, we're gonna have a private conversation as well, right? And so everyone's gonna have a private conversation.
Spatullo doesn't like your attitude. He kicks one of the stools from the bar and he stands up, puts his hand on his belt, and he says, his teeth, which are golden and have the little skulls on them, you can see them quite clear. He says, "It was my destiny to take that hand, and it still will be my destiny."
I don't think it will be. Guys, you said I was gonna need some muscle, yeah?
Sirius is gonna grab the sword and attack Spatullo.
Whoa.
Oh, right away?
Going right for it.
Not another word.
Attack roll, please.
Oh, jeez. It's gonna be a 23 to hit.
Okay, roll damage dice.
That's going to be 11.
All right, so you swing, and Spatullo, with his quick, apparently roguelike reflexes, steps to the side. He still gets cut, and you still hit and do the 11 points of damage, but your sword is so massive that if he didn't do that, it would just split him in half. So he avoids death by missing, and then there's a large scar as it cuts across his face, and he doesn't feel it for a second. There's just this large cut, and then he begins to feel it, and he goes, "Oh." And he stands there sort of in shock. Does anyone do he's in a shock moment right now.
Can I take my second attack?
You can.
All right, let's do that. That's going to be a 25 to hit.
All right, roll your damage dice.
10 damage on that one.
All right, 10 damage on him. And this one hurts. This one connects. Another slice on him. And he goes, Wait! No, don't harm me. No.
Finish him off.
Blood Skunk Hendrickson.
He runs to his knees and he puts his hands up like this and he goes, Hope, please, I was mistaken.
No, is he close enough to me for me to slap him?
Yes.
Okay, I slap him.
All right, you slap him and he slaps it and he goes, I'm sorry, please don't kill me.
Hope will back
I
away
can be
and
useful.
look to Harley Canary and Dr.
I know
Spider to see if
Pupacho's
they wanna-
secret.
I'm coming over there, not saying a word, pulling back my bow, point blank to his head. And I'll say, Your final words now.
I know Pupacho's weakness.
Kill him.
I fire. I let
Now
loose.
wait! Oh, hold on. Everybody hold. The man clearly is in distress. He has a functional liver for sale. And we could extract his brain.
So would
Please,
you like
Hope.
the final?
I beg mercy. I was wrong. I see that now. I was wrong.
You cannot be trusted. Dr. Spider,
No,
what do you suggest we do?
I
He's
throw
not coming
myself
with
into
us.
myself.
I don't care.
I suggest we put his brain in a jar for experimentation, and we remove whatever information he has about Tabacho.
So how do we do that?
Well, first we put his brain in a jar.
How do we get his brain out of his body to put in the jar?
We put an arrow through his brain.
That is not how it works, Mr. Hendrickson. We go to my laboratory, where my lovely assistant will remove his brain, and we will ask it questions.
When you're done with the brain,
I
can
want to know
I
who
put
this assistant is immediately.
can I fire an arrow through the brain once it's out and done?
Once it is of no more use, you may fire an arrow through its brain.
I gotta tell you, this seems like a lot of extra steps to get a brain. You want a brain? I'll get you a brain.
I think you need it.
Wait, please, Hope. I beg you. I was wrong. I see
Serious.
that now.
Shut up.
Please.
Sirius, would you like to carry him? And we'll head to Dr. Spider's lab before we take off.
Sure, but you want the whole him or just like the head him?
Spider?
The whole him would be preferable, yes.
All right, Sirius puts the big old sword on his back. All right, you come along. And he comes over and grabs him.
Wait, no,
Gag him.
wait, no, hold, please. Can I get a gag roll, please?
A gag roll.
Oh, what would that be?
Who's gagging?
Oh, yeah.
Sirius has got him like wrapped up right now, or is gonna try.
Yeah, you would succeed on grapple. He's completely throwing yourself at everyone's mercy.
All right, yeah, Sirius just has him tucked under an arm right now.
And
So-
Brett, you look over. If anyone's looking over at Brett, popcorn magically appears in his hands, and he starts eating popcorn.
Fantastic.
He's an agent of chaos, this Brett. I'll finally
All right,
put my...
I got him. What's next for him?
All right, Dr. Spider, lead to your lab.
Right this way, my friends.
And I will lead them to my quarters in hell.
Oh, so you have quarters in hell? Perfect. And shit, I should have thought this. I'm not sure how the transit system works in hell.
And we got picked up by a car, or like a taxi, right?
Right, there's a valet out front for sure. Let's see. Yeah, do you have a way to teleport there while within hell? As you know, I didn't really think of your lab. Is there? Do you have a shortcut?
I don't.
Kyle.
I do not. We can say it is in the spider quarters.
Okay, that works for me. Yeah. Oh, but you do have a means of getting around Hope. Remember?
Yeah. But I have no idea what it looks like or anything.
Oh, yeah, and I think that's traveled between planes, not on the same plane. I don't know exactly how that works. I can't remember what I wrote on the ring. Or it might just be the gate spell, and the gate spell is for traversal to other realms. It's not teleport, if I'm mistaken. Okay, let's look it up. We're spending enough time chewing on it. Let's see here. The characters. Let's pick Hope, right? Here we go.
Yeah, and it says gate.
So equipment, and we have the hollow ring. A ring has one charge. Oh, it only has one charge. I forgot about that.
I have
It's
to
in
do
my-
an evil act to recharge it.
Okay.
Oh, that shouldn't
maybe
be
that's
hard.
maybe that's not a good option then. Never mind. I forgot about all the rules about that. Okay. And you just used it. It has one charge. You just used it to come here. So, yeah. Brett says, I see you guys are having difficulty, and I kind of want to see what happens. You guys mind if I tag along?
Always a pleasure to have your company, sir.
Perfect. Let's head to your quarters now. Everyone, sit tight. Snaps his fingers, and boom, you're in the spider quarters of hell. In your lab, Dr. Spider, what does your lab look like?
All right, it's a large room, and in the middle is a vat filled with golden liquid, large machinery all towards the bottom, and a bed laying next to it. All of it is rather covered in spider webs, and parts of it are rusted, but there's a nice pristine, kind of in a beam of light, one of those medical tables with all little instruments upon it.
Perfect.
And I'm grabbing the spell.
Okay.
As I enter, I snap my fingers and cast Unseen Servant, where which an invisible force picks up a nurse's hat off the table and places it upon its head, and the hat bustles over.
Okay, so it's just a floating hat that everyone else sees.
Just a floating hat.
But Unseen Servant obviously can manipulate and be a servant. I got
Yes.
it. Okay, so a hat appears and floats next to Dr. Spider.
My associate, if you could, upon the table, please.
All right, Sirius drags him over to the table, flops him down.
His eyes are wide.
I might give you a little bop just to keep you
There's
passing.
no bop needed. His brain.
He's getting a
Wait.
bop right on the head.
You're ignoring Dr. Spider's doctorly
Yeah.
instructions?
Yes.
Okay. Attack roll, please.
Okay.
You're trying to knock him out?
No, just to shock the system is the intent.
Okay. Gotcha.
Just to sort of like, make him passive. It's a 23 to hit.
It's a hit. Because it's a bop, it's a 1 plus your strength modifier.
That's 5.
Okay. So you bop him and he hits his head on the back and he seems a little dazed. His eyes are wide and he's still panicky, but he can't leave your grasp right now. And certainly he's got nowhere to go in the spider's quarters of hell.
Nurse Wilkins, if you could please fetch the jar. Yes, the good jar. Thank you. And for you, what was your name?
You talking to the subject?
Yeah. Mr. Sirius, if you would please unhand the
No,
man.
he uses magic. His name is Spatulo.
Very good, Spatulo. Hang on, let me deposit the Star Child.
And I walk over to the machine and insert the vat device from the back of my gun, and it sort of... and the child is now floating around in the big vat.
Okay, there's a baby floating around.
Perfect.
And I cast Mental Prison on Spatulo.
Mental prison. Okay, new spell alert.
You attempt to bind a creature with an illusionary cell that only it perceives. One creature you can see within range must make an intelligence saving throw. The target succeeds automatically if they're immune to being charmed. On a successful save, the target takes 5d10 psychic damage and the spell ends. On a failed save, the target takes 5d10 psychic damage, and you make the area immediately around the target's space appear dangerous in some way. You may cause the target to perceive itself to be surrounded by fire, floating razors, hideous maws filled with dripping teeth. Whatever form of illusion it takes, the target can't see or hear anything beyond it and is restrained.
Okay, which saving throw was it again, please?
Intelligence 16.
Intelligence 16. Okay, so that's a save.
Oh, well, he takes 5d10 psychic damage.
Okay, roll that up.
Oh, can I use the fancy noose? Not on spells. Okay. So 41 points of psychic damage.
Okay, is this non-lethal? Can you do that with the spell?
No, it would be very lethal.
Okay, so a Spatulo struggling on the table, trying to plead with hope, and has the gag in and doing. You cast the spell, and immediately his eyes goes. Do you know what kind of prison you were conjuring for him, or is it each person they create their own prison?
The table sort of comes alive, and all the belts and lashings spring to life and swing around the person, locking them to it.
Okay, so he's like, he's screaming, and his screaming becoming shrill and like he's fighting for his life. So his screams and yells change from begging and manipulation to literal fear. And he goes, and his nose begins bleeding, and his eyes roll up to the back of the head, and he expires on the table.
As it's going, I'm going, this is all part of the process.
Doc, I gotta tell you, I think I bopped him too hard.
He is expiring on his own time. Give the man a moment.
Is it time for me to fire an arrow through his brain?
No, sir.
Okay, fine.
That will come after the extraction.
All right.
Yes, he appears to be dead. Excellent. Extract the brain, if you will, Miss Wilkins.
Okay.
And with the help of Ghostly Gaze, I activate my Warlock eyeballs to be able to see through solid objects with dark vision at a range of up to 30 feet, so I can perform the surgery and remove the brain.
This is so cool. So you're ghostly gazing into his brain, so you have X-ray view of his anatomy, and so Miss Wilkins is going to perform the surgery, though. Like, how are you assisting?
Yeah, so I'm doing the cutting. She's going to do the removing, but as I perform the cuts, I instruct if she would please
Give me the good stuff. And she heads over to the corner and picks up a little needle and drops it on an old record and goes, give 'em the old razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle. I get to work.
All right. So everyone, how long does the process of brain extraction take?
It
5
takes
minutes?
a good half hour. We're doing it right.
Okay. Well, so 30 minutes goes by. I don't know who's gotten bored by this time. Brett's still eating his popcorn. The principal appears to be motionless, almost as if inanimate, the entire time. I don't know what Blood Skunk's gonna do with 30 minutes of boredom.
He's just
of
gonna
non-murdering,
he's
but-
gripping his bow really tight, breathing very raggedly, and staring at the body as the extraction happens, knowing that at the end of this, he'll get to fire an arrow through its brain.
Okay, Mysterious, are you good?
Sirius is like kind of just chuckling to himself, just kind of because in his eyes he could have done this faster.
Okay, makes sense. And I assume Hope is looking on with just purpose, right? So as long as it takes. So Kyle, we get to the end of 30 minutes, and the brain, I imagine, makes a satisfying.
Yep,
As
and
it's-
as it slides out to avoid infection, the unseen servant grabs the brain and slips it in the jar, which is full of the same sort of yellow preservative that the Star Child is floating in nearby, who giggles and coos occasionally during this.
Excellent. Perfect.
Take it over to a shelf, sort of put it up, lock it in with a twist, and there's a small speaker in front, and I give it a little knock. And as at will, I can cast Whisper of the Grave, and the voice of Spachulu comes out of the speaker.
Okay, are there any stipulations about Whispers to the Grave? I'm also unfamiliar with that spell. So is it just you can talk to the dead, pretty much?
Yes. Looks like I clicked the wrong thing. Hang on.
This is Dr. Strand Spider.
It is the special warlock version of necromancy, Speak with Dead.
Oh, it's pact magic.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry, just Ghostly Gaze. Once per short rest, that's nice. That's Ghostly Gaze. Sorry, it's Whispers of the Grave. Oh, it's as simple as that. You can cast Speak with Dead at will, and Speak with Dead is... Corpse must still have a mouth. It says the corpse must still have a mouth, but that's what the speaker's for, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. You thought of everything. Okay, this is the 5-question deal. We've done this one before.
Exactly.
All right, I know what I need to do. You hear a voice going on the speaker.
Is prepared, my friends. Do as you will, Hope, and I bow and walk back.
Where am I? You're on the speakerphone.
He said you knew Tabacho's secrets. What are they?
The guy who
I'm
said
very
that
sorry about that,
well-
Hope. And I bang the speaker a little bit to get it speaking clear.
It was a lie.
So you know nothing about Tabacho.
I know some things about Tobacho, but nothing important.
Well, just for the hell of it, what do you know about him?
I know that he is jealous of the Lady of Pain. And as much as he works to respect her power, he wants it for himself.
Anyone else have any questions?
Then the arrow, if we please.
Oh, bring me back. I promise I won't fail you.
Bloodskunk
Hopeful,
Hendrickson.
not at the Harley Canary.
Bloodskunk Hendrickson will march forward with purpose and at pace, lift the arrow, bring it level with the table, and fire it into the head of this guy.
All right, make an attack roll, please. Please be a 20 or a 1. Please be a 20 or a 1. Please be a 20 or a 1.
Here we go. That would be an 18.
All right, the arrow fires out, breaks the glass, and pierces the brain. And there's a moment of silence and a little zzz on the speaker, but it still remains connected. And you eventually hear, "Please," come through the speaker still.
All right. Bloodskunk experiences a full body shiver and then walks away.
If I may hope, 3 questions left on a dead man is a very valuable tool. Might I do as I will?
Please.
Thank you. Nurse, please take him to the back room with the others. Thank you all. If anyone would like a part in the organ exchange later, I will be sure to reveal the gold prices of his various goods.
So we'll wait until this is done before heading to Tabacho's.
Brett throws the empty bag of popcorn on the ground, wipes his hands, he goes, "Well, that was interesting. I didn't know spiders could be doctors and perform lobotomies and such. Pretty cool. Keep up the good work, Dr. Spider." I've got I've got some other business to attend to, as interesting as it is. I really want to find out what ends up happening with your investigation, Hope, so keep me posted, but I've got some other stuff I need to do. So now that you guys are speaking, before I go, do you need me to drop you anywhere?
Tabacho's. We need to get there.
Powers aren't allowed in Sigil.
Oh.
So can't help you with that one. But maybe some other place you want to go?
No, I think we have to wait for the organs to finish up.
Oh, yeah, oh, really? What's he doing with the organs?
Something about gold.
All right. Well, okay then. And he disappears. The principal looks and he says, "We should have accepted a transport somewhere. Do you have a means to return?"
I have the ring. I'm pretty sure I've done some evil stuff already.
Oh, wait. I know how to get back myself.
Oh, yeah.
Strange. I think I need some freshening up soon.
Now, quick question before you leave. Once I find out where the eye is, it's just a matter of procuring it? Not simple, I'm sure.
The entire armies of all creation were fighting over the hand that you now wear. I assume the same, if not even greater, energy will be applied to the collection of this artifact. It will not be easy. I would offer you resources from Principal City, but there may not be one left.
Yeah.
Still, I have many contingencies. So once you've spoken to Tabacho, return to Earth in a place called the Vatican. What did I call it on the map? Vatican? Vatican?
I don't know.
Vatican. I think that's it. Just think of Earth and think of mountains and say the word Vatican when you use that item of yours. We'll take you there.
Got it.
I'll be off. Best of fortunes in your travel. And with that, remember now, the principal, not only in addition to being a large metal man, has 10 rings, and he lifts up one of the rings, and the red gem glows, and then flickers, and he's gone, as if he was never there.
Say there, Hope. I gotta be honest about something. I have already lost the two from the city. I think I may have left them back with the boss. Or they could be running around here. I don't know, but that's my bad. I kind of let him get out of my sight. I was busy with other things.
It's all right. What were they gonna go back to anyway? And they can't exactly come with us.
I'm sure they'll like it. It's a good place. You know, maybe they'll gamble a little. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they'll get a little drunk. And Hope will start looking around all the different things on the walls, all the weird stuff. So do you all have your own places here in hell, like Dr. Spider has this?
I mean, it's nothing to brag about. I got my own place. You know, we got a pretty good gig working for Brett. He pays pretty well. We got a good job.
So when did you start working for him?
I don't know. Time's a weird thing in hell. You know what I mean? It's kind of just do this, do that. But he's a boss like any other.
Yeah, what other bosses have you had?
Him.
What about you, Hendrickson?
I live upside down in an old church.
Again with the churches.
I don't go there often, but when I do, I hang from the ceiling. I have no boss. I only have those who pay me to make my target. And that's it. No boss. Only targets.
We need to ask Scott more questions as Blood Skunk. That's one thing is clear.
Dr. Spider, you ready?
Sorry, hang on. I'm medicine 17 on the liver.
Okay, so what were you trying to do?
Is it alcohol free? Is it good? Is it uncorrupted?
It's used, definitely alcohol in the liver.
Ah! And you hear a clink in a bin. The gallbladder, surely.
All right. Do you want to do just a general medicine, and I'll tell you what pieces are good, or do you want to do this one by one because it is funny?
No. What do I find that's good?
I feel a little bad because I see you struggling with baby duty as well as this. you're like that was the kidney. You know.
24 for valuable organs.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you find the following valuable organs. Spatulo's lungs are immaculate. Was not a smoker of any kind, it seems. He was his good lungs. He also has very fit muscles. They're lean, his roguelike reactive muscles, so they could be preserved and saved for building some kind of flesh golem or something. Pretty good stuff on the muscles front. His brain as well. I mean, there's an arrow in it now, but it's shown remarkable resiliency, and there seems to be something to his intelligence that means his brain might still be worth saving for leftover parts. As well is he has a pretty he's pretty well endowed. I don't know if that matters to you or not, if you can make use of that, but
Lovely gonads, yes. My friends, if you please.
And I
a spidery hand, a long-fingered hand unfolds with 5 gold pieces for each of you.
Gold peaches, that'd be awesome, but I'll take the pieces.
It was the gonads on the brain, pardon me.
I'll extend my bony hand toward him and take it.
Your cut serious?
Well, not bad. Not bad for a guy like this, little weak guy.
Even the weak can have excellent insides, Mr. Sirius. Hope, do you partake in gold or have you transcended?
I'll partake, but I'll let you know later.
Very good. Milkins, we're heading out. Lock up.
All right, the floating hat begins closing medicine cabinets and cleaning up the blood that's on the table from Spatulo getting his face punched and being horrifically killed. Yeah, so where to?
I mean, you know what? Let's go with this bad guy thing. We don't need to hide appearances or anything like that. So, assuming killing Spatulo was pretty evil, even though he's begging for his life, I'm going to assume the ring has a charge in it.
You feel a warmth. The ring doesn't really have a visual indicator, but it does feel warm. It goes from warm to cold, and you imagine that when it's warm, it's what it is, except it's not comforting because you can't feel warmth, can you?
No.
So the only reason you feel it is that you can smell your flesh burning a little bit as it sizzles the skin.
Oh, damn. That's pretty gnarly. Cool. Well, then in that case, Hope will imagine Tabacho's main room.
Okay, so you'd like to teleport into Sigil.
If it works.
Do we come with? How does it work?
Yeah, she summons a gate.
Oh,
gate
right. Okay.
All right, so are we locked in? Final answer kind of thing? You're going to do it?
Yeah.
All right, so whoosh, a large circular gate of smoke appears. And there's purple and blue mist. And you wait a minute to see if you can trust this portal. And as the smoke clears away, there's sort of a shimmering water-like texture to the portal, like you're going to jump into a lake. And you see on the other side the streets of Sigil. Shimmering. This is the first time you've been able to look at a portal and see through it.
Cool. Well, she'll nod to the 3 and they'll walk through.
I grab my containment unit and the Star Child back into my Series X Radiant launcher and proceed through.
Okay. Blood Skunk?
Same. I will
Serious?
walk through.
Yep.
All right. The 4 of you walk through the portal and emerge on the streets of Sigil. And as soon as you look up, you can see the city overhead and the city in 360 degrees of vision. Anywhere you look, there is city everywhere, and the bustling but medieval stylings of Sigil and the smells of blacksmith smoke and poo, because they don't really have plumbing, all enters your nose. Now we're going to move back to our original, or not original, but we're going to move back to Good Team for a few more minutes before the show ends.
All right.
Awesome.
Moving them back.
So reality stretches and then lurches and pulls and then you're floating in space aboard the deck of this airship, and you look all around in every direction and you're in outer space. But it's not like the night sky you're used to seeing on Earth. The space here is green and yellow and looks like disease. Everything is just, there's little red nebulas and things sort of moving all about, but there's still stars that you can see. And there's one cosmic object within your field of vision that even you can see through the nebulas of this green place. It looks like there are these 2 asteroids that have smashed together and floating together. And atop the 2 asteroids is a tower. And I'm going to try, I have a bunch of stuff on my notepad, so I'm going to try and show you this without showing you the rest of what's here. But that's kind of what the tower looks like.
Oh, wow. That's
So standing where the two asteroids are connecting is a tower, and then just in front of it there appears to be this bridge out into outer space and a ledge floating in outer space.
Yeah.
And the airship slowly moves to a speed like an impulse speed, and then quickly docks onto the side of it. Now, the most peculiar thing, Stanley, is facing you in the center of this platform that is evidently a dock for airships, right? But it's hanging off. It's not on the asteroid. It's like a bridge out in outer space with a platform out in outer space. Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a statue of Stanley standing like 30 feet tall in the center of it, and at the bottom of it, in large and blazing letters, it says Stanley Airport.
You're the penis,
And
Stanley.
you hear shouting up from the top, Badass T's like, I know you're going to have questions. I've sworn not to say anything, so let's just go in, okay? We're going to the tower up over there.
You're absolutely right. I do have questions.
Save them for my master, okay?
Oh my goodness. I'm going to throw out Toby. I'm throwing it out.
All right, so the ship docks, and the plank is now attached to the platform. Platform's the word I'm looking for. So platform, and and Badass T jumps down. He's like, all right, the gnomes are gonna take care of it. So come up with me to the tower. And you see attached to the two asteroids is a really, really tall tower that's leaning crooked, like to the left, like a leaning Tower of Pisa style. But all medieval looking. And he begins running to the bridge that leads to the two connected asteroids into the tower entrance. You get a closer look at the tower entrance, and you see that there's windows everywhere on it, but most peculiarly, on the ground floor, the door has a big skull with large glowing eyes and teeth, and you have to enter into the tower through this skull's mouth. He begins taking off towards the tower, and he's out of earshot unless you yell really loud. Almost like a dog that's happy to be home. He's like making for the tower, just running after it.
This is extremely strange.
Why are you so big?
Honestly, I have no idea. I've never been here. I don't know how they got a statue of me. I don't know what any of this is.
Stanley, you're popular here. This is great.
Nash,
What?
I'm popular everywhere.
Well, not as popular. Nobody ever made a giant penis between two giant nuts and said, hey, it's Stanley before. This is the first time. This is a big deal.
Credit for finishing the sentence and making it through all that.
It's a big deal.
All right, I follow in.
All right, so the party follows up the bridge, and you see that for some reason you're breathing air, even though you're in outer space, and you have some notion that it's hostile out here, so it makes no sense. You walk across the bridge and onto the ground of the asteroid, and you see that the ground kind of has this give, like it's a little spongy. Just unusual characteristic. It looks like sand. It doesn't look like flesh or anything weird like that. With Nash's reference to balls lingering in your mind, you're worried. But it doesn't look like appear to be a giant gonads. It's indeed some kind of weird space rock. It just has a lot of give and very sandy. And you notice to the right on one of the asteroids, there appears to be this like flat but very wide facility building, maybe about 2 floors tall. And as you get close to the entrance of the skull mouth of the tower, Badass T looks over there and he goes, oh, that's the hamburger factory over there. I can give you a tour of it later if you want. But anyways, we should get inside.
Has a airport, a tower, and a hamburger factory.
My master likes hamburgers, and he tried to make it a thing in Sigil, but we didn't really make too much money. But we're still producing the hamburgers because we employ a lot of people, and my master would feel too bad making them lose their jobs. Yeah, so, But yeah, you make hamburgers. You know what hamburger is?
Let's meet your master.
All right.
And he opens up the door. Doesn't appear to be locked or anything. Just waltzes right in. And as he waltzes right in, clearly the tower on the inside does not conform to the physics of the real world outside, because you enter into this large chamber just immediately right there. Boom. You're inside this large chamber. And as you enter in, leaving the door ajar, you see that around the room are 12 different little pedestals. Okay, and towards the back, there are 2 doors that appear to exit to stairs that lead higher up. But, and most importantly, the strangest feature of this room is a 40 is a massive, on the far wall, a massive stone carving of Nash Maggard of the Solar Mines' face on the wall, replete with a grungy eye and looking at the wall. And he's like, he looks at you, Nash, and goes, Junior, you finally made it.
Wait, a giant statue face said?
It's a face in the wall. Like, think Labyrinth style, like a face in the wall.
Oh, wow.
Of your face, Nash. He says, Junior, I'm glad you made it.
I'll go, Stanley, mine talks. I'll go, wait, what is this? Who are you? What do you mean, Junior?
And that's where we ended this week.
I love it. All right. That's awesome. There you go, folks. Try to wrap your heads around that. I don't think you can. But we'll be back next week to explore it more. Well done, Bo. Also, quick note, we're going to do a bonus show after this today, which means those of you who support us as a patron over there at our website, over at therewillbedungeons.com. If you are a Dungeon Plus member, that means you'll be getting a bonus show today along with this episode. So, if you're hearing this going, oh man, I want one of those, sign up over at therewillbedungeons.com. And there's all kinds of cool levels and stuff, but anybody, no matter what level you are, gets the bonus show every month. So go check that out. All right. I think that's going to do it for us. Do you guys any parting thoughts, Bo? Anything?
Great game, you guys. You're amazing, and it was such a pleasure to play with all of you today.
Yeah, it was really fun. As always, it's always fun. Are you kidding me? We're never not having a good time. We're always having a good time, and we're so glad to have you guys along with us. Please come back next week when we do this again, so that we can all hang out again and play more D&D. We hope you're all safe and well and healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. Yeah.
What a